Do you think men can give birth?
I think that...
yes or no question?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they can give birth.
Assigned male at birth? So people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, your evidence that college is a scam.
Charlie Kirk took on 25 college students in a bold move that most right-wing advocates shy away from debating on a college campus. He stepped into the lion's den, challenging students ready to confront him, especially one who supported abortion. This student argued that a fetus only becomes human after 24 weeks, and that abortion before the 20-week mark isn't murder. She even came armed with statistics to back her point. However, she didn't expect Charlie's clever comeback. He pointed,
under Roe v. Wade, 93% of abortions happened in the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. That's 93% of the abortions happened well before a fetus is technically viable as a form of life.
Out that by her logic, a fetus can be terminated simply because it's not yet considered human or able to survive on its own. But many other beings, like baby mice, are also incapable of survival without help should it be legal to kill.
What is it about, let's say, a 6-week baby that has a heartbeat, its own DNA, fingerprint, brainwaves, that is less moral worth than an 88-year-old right now with dementia in a home down the street?
Killed him too. He took it further by asking about elderly individuals who rely on others for care. Should society have the right to end their lives because they can't survive independently? Charlie's response highlighted a key issue. With many woke arguments, they often oversimplify complex issues, applying a one-size-fits-all solution without considering the uniqueness of each situation. Charlie Kirk continues to challenge a pro-abortion student, even after he points out that a fetus has a heartbeat, fingerprints, and breathes on its own. Despite this, the student refers to the fetus as a parasite. This raises an important question: are woke individuals, or perhaps the average person, inherently dark and twisted?
Species is the fetus.
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is...
Charlie shares a provocative view, stating that the average human being is inherently dark and awful. What keeps society in check, according to him, are law, morality, and religion. He even quotes the Bible, saying, "All men have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God."
We believe, as Christians or those in the space, human beings are pretty awful, okay? That we're broken, that we're sinful, that we fall short of the glory.
What's striking is how Charlie contrasts this with the perspective of the woke mob, implying their worldview is overly simplistic and, in comparison, even silly. His point underscores the tension between moral beliefs and progressive stances. Charlie Kirk argues that people are inherently awful by default, but he doesn't stop there. He claims that many woke individuals blame...
A common left-wing belief is that human beings are actually awesome and they're terrific, and the reason why things are not so good is because of capitalism or the patriarchy or feminism or whatever.
External factors like patriarchy and capitalism for their behavior, which he views as convenient excuses. According to Charlie, capitalism isn't the problem, and he unapologetically defends his capitalist beliefs. If you criticize him for it, you're likely to get a sharp response, much like he gave 5 years ago. While Charlie has learned to keep his emotions in check, he's still quick to point out the flaws in woke logic. For instance, during an interaction with a student who asked his thoughts on Blair White, a trans woman YouTuber, things quickly became awkward. Despite the tension, Charlie didn't...
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe. No. What do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on,
seat.
Shank, let's go.
Charlie,
shy away from engaging in the conversation. Charlie Kirk didn't mean to sound condescending, but he was genuinely confused when discussing transgender identity. He questioned whether a man transitioning into a woman truly makes them a woman. According to Charlie, it would be more accurate to refer to that person as a fake.
I was going to ask you about a specific person in that community, Ms. Blair White.
Haven't thought about Blair White in a while, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was on the new Jubilee debate.
Wait, is it a biological woman who thinks they're a man? I can't remember.
She's a trans woman.
Okay, so a fake woman.
Fake woman. Naturally, the woke student took issue with that. But here's where Charlie went further. In this exchange, he couldn't even bring himself to call Blair White, a trans woman YouTuber, a woman he referred to it as wearing a costume. Here's the bigger point: as much as woke culture dislikes this argument, Charlie compared it to wearing a horse mask. Just because...
Well, yeah, I mean, you could pretend to be black. You could put blackface on. That doesn't make you black. But I'm just wondering, I don't know much about Blair White. So it's a man who wears the costume of a woman. Is that right?
If someone wears a horse mask, does that make them a horse? So why should wearing women's clothes make someone a woman? Since the rise of woke culture and gender debates, Figures like Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, and Candace Owens have consistently argued that being a woman is more than just appearances or clothing. They assert that gender identity is rooted in biological reality, and they believe that sex changes are misleading. Charlie insists that no matter how much someone wants to, they can't change their gender identity just as someone can't change their race, regardless of desire. Charlie's stance is clear: if you believe that wearing makeup and women's clothes makes you a woman, you're reducing an entire identity to appearance, devaluing what it means to be a woman. However,
So then you think so lowly of women that you think that someone can just look like one, put on a bra with a dress and makeup, and that magically they enter womanhood.
the woke side argues that people experience gender dysphoria, a condition they feel justifies the desire to transition. Yet Charlie and those who share his view reject that reasoning. Charlie Kirk counters the argument for gender dysphoria by acknowledging that while it's considered a real condition, there's no solid evidence to justify something as drastic as a sex change. According to him, no one should be able to simply choose their identity, emphasizing his point with a strong statement that left the room silent. But why does Charlie believe?
So, can you pick your adjectives?
Say that one more time?
Can you pick your adjectives in life?
I mean, obviously not, right?
Okay, so then if you can't pick your adjectives, why can you pick your pronouns?
So many college students embrace what he calls silly ideas. In a nutshell, he argues that college is a scam that leaves students unemployable. He goes further, pointing out that top American companies are increasingly hesitant to hire college graduates. Why would some of the biggest companies in the country avoid hiring college grads? Charlie offers an eye-opening answer. He claims that college campuses are
Name them out, man. Walmart just got rid of their, even in their corporate level, so you don't need to go to college. Koch Industries, one of the largest employers in the country, from Georgia Pacific Railroad to Dow Chemical. They said we no longer want kids that have gone to college.
Indoctrinating young students into woke culture, shaping their mindset in ways that make them less desirable to employers. According to Charlie, colleges are doing more harm than good in preparing students for the real world.
Because they end up causing problems because they're super entitled and they're like, oh, what are my pronouns? And they have all this like left-wing nonsense that they've...
Charlie Kirk criticizes modern colleges for having safe zones and safe spaces that shield students from having their feelings challenged, which he argues is the opposite of what higher education should do. Instead of preparing students for real-life challenges, colleges are fostering a sense of disconnect from reality. By the time students graduate, Charlie says, they are so focused on their feelings and ideas that they struggle to adapt to the corporate world. He argues that these graduates cause issues by insisting on how they should be spoken to or treated, which is why many companies are avoiding hiring them. But Charlie's criticism doesn't stop there. He claims that colleges intentionally waste students' time, not only indoctrinating them into woke culture but also forcing them to take unnecessary courses. According to Charlie, the system is overly strict and dictatorial about...
How many of you guys have to take classes that are a waste of time that you wish you wouldn't have to take? Every single hand. You're being scammed against your will to take classes that make you go further into debt. Why can't you say, I don't want to take this?
Which classes students must take, regardless of their value. He insists that success can be achieved without college, making the traditional education system seem more like a hindrance than a benefit. Charlie credits reading books and listening to podcasts for shaping him into the man he is today, calling it far more valuable than a college degree. He believes college not only scams and indoctrinates...
I didn't go to college, man. That's the point, is you can do whatever you want without a college degree. You can listen to podcasts, read books...
students, but also leaves them in debt. If you're still unsure, Charlie drives his point home with a final thought: is college really a scam that's pushing students into woke culture? And is abortion truly murder? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.